Love on the Sunset Strip. I think you could sum it up in 3 little words. Everybody f***ed everybody. Men and women alike, there was no difference. Everybody f***ed everybody. Willingly. No forethought, no emotion, barely any remorse. The girl that you took home from the whiskey not 2 nights ago is now with your best friend. Or, most likely, she's moved on to some rival band that you are competing with for the coveted Wonka Golden Ticket, the record deal. It was totally understood that was how it was, man. You weren't jealous. You weren't even bummed out. That was love on the Sunset Strip. You'd see one of your friends leaving the club one night. You walked up to his car, and there, sitting in the passenger seat of his car, was the girl that you were with not 1 week ago. There she was. She's even wearing the same clothes that she wore when you were with her. You leaned in the car and you go, "Where's the after party?" And you immediately see her, and she sees you. But because this is Hollywood and there are weirdo rules, you guys pretend not to know each other. "Oh, hello," you say. And she looks back at you and smiles, and she's got that look on her face like she just cut a wet, shitty fart. You watch her squirming in her seat because, as we all know, last week it was your car that she was in on her way to the big sex rodeo. You can almost hear her silently sending him mental waves. Drive, drive. But you know what? There was no shame. It was totally cool. It didn't mean anything. There was no attachments. There was no semblance of anything resembling what you would call real love, only the immediate connection that you both had that one night, and for that one instant, it all made sense. Sometimes the two of you were both so drunk that nothing happened. You ended up passed out on her couch, or she was so drunk that she just passed out in her bed and left you hanging in hand. You laid there on the bed for a few minutes, just sitting there, listening to her snore, and then, you would just silently get up and leave. Or in the rare instance that you did wake up together, there was always that weird awkwardness as she would ask, "Is breakfast included?" Lots of chlamydia around, lots of STDs. It happens when everybody sleeps with everyone. A giant petri dish of germs, a virulent Sunset Strip strain, the Hollywood drip. Sales of antibiotics skyrocketed in the 80s. Totally normal, totally curable, totally a part of it. Occupational hazard, living and breathing, and all that Hollywood decadence on that nightly basis. Did some people find love? Some girls thought they did, but in reality, they just mistook that one-night stand for love, and that led them to what could be called stalking-like behavior. Girls climbing the fences in the middle of the night. "I know he's cheating on me." He's not cheating on you. You've just mistaken the sex you guys had for a real relationship, and now here you are climbing up his fire escape, screwdriver in hand. Maybe your car would get keyed, or rumors about you would spread. "Don't sleep with that guy. He's bad news." Happened to everybody. The awkward reality of living in an environment where everybody literally f***ed everybody does have its disadvantages. Living together with a girl did complicate things, especially if your girlfriend was a stripper and she was supporting the both of you, which pretty much happened all the time. Musicians, for the most part, living in Hollywood, either had shitty jobs doing phone sales or no jobs at all. So dancers would fill in the blanks. Things like rent, food, shelter, bare essentials. But then things get more complicated. Now it's way worse if you got caught cheating on your girlfriend because she's paying all the bills. She'll either forgive you or she'll go out and purposely cheat on you to make things sort of even, or she'll just kick your ass out in the street. In Hollywood, this was pretty much a totally normal occurrence. She'd make this big show of throwing you out. Out went the clothes, the leather pants that she bought you, the expensive vest that she bought you, the Les Paul that she bought you, all your shit tossed out on the lawn in front of your apartment. And there you are in your gig clothes, looking like a dope, freezing in the cold, waiting for your band to come pick you up. You do feel like a at the time. I mean, more so because you got caught. It is a move to bang another girl when you're living with another girl. But you know what? You're young and you're an idiot. None of you are grown up. You're kids in your 20s with no sense of honor or self-awareness. So you jump in the van and you laugh it off and you spend the next few weeks living on someone's couch until you find a new girl in a new situation. The circle of life goes on. And of course, then she'll find someone too, someone that looks exactly like you did. Dyed black hair, tattoos, plays guitar, he's going places, he's got ads in Rock City News, he's playing the whiskey just like you. She'll find someone else to fall instantly in love with and throw more money at them to try to buy their love just like you, and unfortunately, the end result will be just the same. They all want the bad boy, and in Hollywood, there are plenty of those. Some people did have relationships on the Sunset Strip. But was it love? Who really knows? You played the whiskey or some other club every few weeks, and your girlfriend got to dress up for the occasion. It was a big deal back then to play the whiskey. Your band was excited. You were excited. There was always that chance that someone might see you and you might get that coveted record deal. Watch Decline of Western Civilization Part 2. Watch the Gazzari scenes. That's what it really looked like back then. The girls dressed all alike in leather miniskirts and the red lips and the teased up hair. The guys all dressed up like they just stepped out of a Bon Jovi video. It was all real. It seems cliche, like a 24-hour-a-day Steel Panther life, but it was a thing. The Strip was a real thing, and the energy was real. Anything could happen, bad or good. Rock and roll was the most important thing in your life back then. Girls got dressed up and went out to Hollywood with the express purpose of sleeping with the hottest guy they could find. And they would do it ravenously, carnivorously even, more so than the guys. Most of the time, it was the girls that would make the first move. They were the aggressors. And oh, the gossip. All the sexual gossip. Everybody knew about everybody. How good this guy was in bed, or how big this guy was, or how small this guy was, or how shitty this guy was in bed. It all became common street knowledge. So musicians, I guess in a sense, had to do 2 shows a night. You know, the gig on stage and then the sexual gig afterwards. Both times had to be brilliant. Reputations were made and lost on the Strip this way. You like that guy? Yeah. Good singer, horrible lay. How about that guy? Yeah, killer hair, micro penis. The hammer of the gods, even back then on the Strip. Some girls ended up sleeping with entire bands. They would just go down the line, one after the other, and somehow justifying it. It's weird to think about. Not really caring what other people thought. Actually, just getting tossed aside and moving on to the next musician because it wasn't really love as we think of it. You know, now that we're grown up, we're supposed to have a better idea of what love is. This was sex with no love. It was loveless. No rules, no attachments, zero shame, just the crushing and the pounding and the grunting in the room next door while your buddies all listened and wanting to feel something. Girls wanting to feel love. Guys wanting some sort of payoff for living in the poverty and the misery of being a musician on the Strip. Just one of 1,000. Anonymous. Meaningless. And where are they now? All the boys and the girls who were there. What became of that sexual buffet? Some of the girls became trophy wives of wealthy musicians. You know, they would have the kid so they could secure their place and their fortune that way. Acres of plastic surgery and the afternoon mimosas with the other Stepford wives, all the time bitching about their screaming, unruly children while the men would go off on tour and bring home the dough. Here's some truth. Musicians are generally very similar in temperament. We're not so complicated. We all want the same thing, I guess. We all want to be loved. We all want our music to be loved. That in itself is an achievement in this brutal and unforgiving 2025 musical landscape. No more record deals, no more MTV fame, no more record royalties, all gone. So what's left, you say? Just the pride of performance. Just making a living, doing it, and doing it well. It sometimes resembles the aftermath of a nuclear war. How can you survive? I was there. I was a participant, a willing participant in that whirling maelstrom that was the Sunset Strip back in the crazy 80s and beyond. I was there, unapologetically, from gig to after party to bedroom to couch and beyond. I was there. For a short time, we all sort of swam around in the same barrel, swimming around and round and hooking up and breaking up over and over with no rhyme or reason, sex with no love, sex with a complete stranger. And it wasn't strange, I guess, because we were all doing it. All that mattered to you and your band was getting the record deal. That was the priority above all else. Love, feelings, none of that mattered. There was only that quest, that impossible dream. And then, if you were lucky enough, you got it. When you got your wish and you made that debut record, then off you went on that magical tour bus that sort of made you look rich. You had a video on MTV that made you look like you were going places. And when you would pull into a strange town, all the women in that city came out to greet you. It was almost exactly the same as it was living in Hollywood, only on a grander scale. Nationwide, worldwide. The rules were the same. No attachments, zero love. It was all understood. Is it still the same for young bands now? I'm going to venture that it is. Less mystery now because the internet reveals everything, but still the hedonism goes on until they too grow up and realize that it's not love. Never was love, never will be love. It's not tragedy, it's just keeping it real. And that's all I got to say about that. It's your old pal Jizzo, rockin' and rollin'. We'll see you next time.